Hello, everyone. Anambra Governor Soludo marks 10,000 shops for demolition in Onitsha main market, gives traders 14 days to move. Hey, 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 hey. Avevekuve. Let me first of all start by telling you that I actually don't blame Charles Soludo. Whatever it is that he does, Anambra people contributed to it in the way that they brought him back. One of the things I keep saying to people is that when somebody has failed you and they have shown you who they are, believe them. If you go ahead to go and re-elect them, whatever it is that they did, you are the one that asked it. You are the one that wanted it and you asked it upon yourself. Yeah. I mean, this Governor Soludo has shown a lot of people in Anambra what stuff he was made of, what he was doing, and the lot of things that he was doing anyhow. And you come ahead and you vote him again. Some will say that, oh, but the other candidate. Look, I keep saying this. Even voting against someone on its own, it's a protest. There's something called protest vote. You haven't worked. Give another person a chance. If that person doesn't work, change another person. Change. That's what we failed to do. 2014 was change. If the person does not work, change the person again. Keep changing until they begin to fear you and begin to bring credible people that are going to work for you. But no, we say this, that. When the person enters, what did you expect? That he will now go and leave you and move on? No, he's not going to go and leave you and move on. He's going to come after. You're going to see the other side. The part he didn't show you before, he's going to show you again. Especially with when it comes to executive. Legislative is even a different, because those ones, okay, it's law they make and all of that. But executive, the person hasn't given you the best. Somebody like Alessoti now, his people will go all out and say we are voting him. We will do everything to vote him. We will put in our all. It makes sense, 100%. But somebody, for example, like Okpewolo in Edo State, they will now see and go and vote him second time again, and then come and start crying that he's doing this, he's doing that. Now you buy market too. Anyway, who are we to talk? Anambra people are spoken. The governor issued the order amid controversy over his closure of the market for 1 week on Monday, January 26. Over traders continued observance of the Monday sit-at-home despite repeated government directives abolishing the practice. If the Nigerian government did not allow itself to lose the monopoly of violence, well, would there have been anybody asking anybody to sit down at home? People sat down at home because somebody else had could put out violence, and they were putting it out. And the Nigerian government was not protecting anybody. People did not just suddenly wake up in the morning and say that, oh, we want to be losing money I want to be losing money every Monday. No. Circumstances forced them to it. And even this whole issue of shop, like somebody was saying in the comment section, it says, okay, so I'm a landlord or I have a shop. I rented it out. The person I rented it to did not open the shop. Now you are demolishing the shop. Does it make sense? Or is it the power of the power that is so? I mean, what power? Even the police came out to say that, oh, for them, the fundamental. By the way, today I learned something in class that there's nothing like fundamental human rights. That it's either human rights or fundamental rights. Human rights are those rights that you have just because you are human. It doesn't matter whatever. And then in the fundamental rights are sort of like rights that that are given by the state. There's a way they put it. I didn't put it very well, but there's a way they put it. Say all fundamental rights are human rights, but not all human rights are fundamental rights. Is that the way they put it? Yeah, somebody put it like that. Like every day we learn. That's the beauty of learning. When people say, "Oh, Aisha, why they tire? Why are you always doing school? Why are you always doing one thing or the other?" Why? For me, it's just that opportunity to keep learning. Like, for example, fundamental human rights is something that I use all the time because he was giving an example, and we talked about this Onitsha market in the class today, and the lecturer was trying to say that, look, you don't have the right to force people that they have to open their shop. I mean, you can't say that, oh, if they don't open their shop, then there's something that has to be done against you. Is their right? And then he was mentioning the fact that even police came out and police were talking about it, and the police was like, there was no way they'll be able to enforce it. They cannot, that would be breaching people's fundamental human rights. And then the lecturer, you know what the lecturer said? The way he said it to her, he said, if he's when it's time for exam and he see a marking scheme that somebody wrote fundamental human rights, that he's not even going to look beyond that. Yeah, you just drop your paper as far as because that there's nothing like fundamental human rights. It's human rights and fundamental rights. But anyway, the governor issued the order amid controversy over his closure of the market for 1 week on Monday, January 26th, over traders' continued observance of Monday sit-at-home despite repeated government directives abolishing the practice. Governor Soludo ordered the closure of the market during an unscheduled visit to the market, where he observed that a significant number of shops remained shut in defiance of state government's order lifting the sit-at-home linked to the indigenous people of Biafra. The governor had described the persistent closure of businesses on Monday as unacceptable and warned that the government would no longer tolerate actions capable of undermining economic activities and public order in the state. He had issued a stern warning to traders in the state, insisting that they must open their shops for business from Monday to Saturday or relocate elsewhere. Sahara reporters earlier reported that traders at the Onitsha main market partially complied with Governor Soludo's orders to shun the sit-at-home practice and open shop from Monday to Saturday every week. Despite the partial compliance with the government order to shun the Monday sit-at-home, traders at Onitsha lamented that they came to their shops only to find out that over 10,000 shops had been marked for demolition in the market with a 14-day deadline for them to move out. A trader, Uzochukwu Joseph Okoye, who owns a clothing shop at the market, said, I opened today, I opened last week, but the market is not filled like last Monday. Asked about the situation in the market, the situation is that we came this morning and saw lots of plates in our shop. We should move in 14 days. But that 14 days is too short. We cannot do anything in 14 days, he said. A lot of people are in the market ready to trade, despite the fact that we do not see customers. Even when we're coming, transportation was also an issue. I'm pleading with the governor to also work on transportation and banks so that everywhere we operate fully on Mondays. This morning, some banks were not open and some transportation companies are not open. So these are making things. If the transportation is not there, how are you going to transport your things? If banks are not open, are you going to send money and keep it there? Armed robbers will start coming to your houses or whatever. These are all main issues. He noted that finding keke napep and commercial buses was a problem, making it almost impossible for traders to go to their shop. On why their shops are marked for demolition, Okoye said that Governor Soludo is complaining that Onitsha main market has been messed up, hence the need for demolition. But we the traders know that before developers build this shop, I got approval from the state government, and the governor gave them the standard approval for the shops to be. At the end of the day, like I said to you earlier on, I no blame Soludo. Na Anambra people bring and come back. Thank you so much for watching.